Okay, let's start. So this session is all about how to calculate pacing. Okay. So now you know what is pacing, right? Why are we giving pacing, right? So let us understand how to calculate pacing time. Okay, based on the NFRs. So in the first stage, you will gather non-functional requirements, and it looks like this, right? So now you are going to calculate pacing based on these non-functional requirements. So how many scenarios you have here? Admin, seller, buyer, and call center. So, so that's what I wrote in the first column: admin, seller, buyer, and call center. And how many users for each functionality? Admin 4, seller 50, buyer 438, and call center 8. So that's what I mentioned here, right? Till this point, it is clear, right? And column C, what is this? So admin has two roles. Here they mention clearly that admin supports 4 users, 2 for seller and 2 for product approval. So seller is one script and product approval is one another script. Okay, so I have divided the users, 2 for seller and 2 for product approval. Okay, so now, and seller has also two scripts: add product, delete product, where it is mentioned in NFRs. Huh.
Rule number 29.
Yes. So sellers adds an average of 180 products and delete 18 products, right? So seller has two scripts: add and delete, right? That's how you need to read the NFRs properly and identify the script. So seller has two. One should add, one should delete, and sellers adds an average of how many products? 1 or 180, and deletes 18. Okay, so that is why seller has 180 here. 180 transactions we need to achieve, and delete how many transactions we need to achieve? 18. And total seller users are 50, and here the transaction division is 180, 180 and 18, so 10%. We are giving, they are giving 10% to delete. So that is why we are out of 40, out of 50 we are taking 45 here for add and giving 55 for delete. Okay. Next, buyers. So how many users for buyer? 438. And how many scenarios we have in buyers? Buy product and cancel product, where it is mentioned again. 4% of the users cancel the order in every scenario. That means 4% of the users. And if 438 low, what is 4%? 18. So 18 users will cancel every time. And out of 438, 420 users will buy the product, and remaining 18 users will cancel the product. That's how you need to divide the users for buy product and cancel product. Okay. Again, how many users for how many transactions you need to achieve for buy product? That also you can see here. Number of orders. How many? 1,340. Okay. 1,340. And out of that, how many you are canceling? 4%. You need to mention that. Okay. So that's how you need to give all, and also admin. Admin, you know, with 4 users, how many you need to achieve? It's clearly mentioned here. Yeah. Admin gets an average of 200 requests per hour. That means how many transactions you need to achieve for admin? 200. Admin has two scripts, seller and product approval. So 100 for seller and 100 for product approval. That's how you need to enter these TPH. What is TPH? Transaction per hour. Okay. And this is your test duration, right? Because all this workload model you are doing for this load test, right? This workload model you are doing for load test. So that is why you have entered 450, 438, 8, right? I gave 450, 438, 8. If you need to do this for stress test, you need to give something like this 10, 100 to 2524. But now we are doing this workload model for only load test. Okay. So till this F column, it is clear, right? So based on TPH, what I am calculating here, TPS, what is this? Transaction per second. So what I'm doing, F2 by E2, what is F2? This one. What is E? 3600, right? So I will get transaction per second here. This is what you need to achieve in your test, right? Put this aside and number of transaction in each script. Yesterday I told you for fund, if you are doing performance testing for any scenario like fund transfer, what you'll have launch, login, right? Click account, fund transfer menu, from account to account, click next, accept OTP, logout, right? Like this, for all the scenarios also we have the similar kind of steps, right? Take seller, admin seller. If you need to execute this, you have to start with launch, login again. For every scenario, it is the same case. That is why you need to mention the number of transactions here, like this, for each and every scenario. For example, I am just considering that the transaction for each one of this is 7777868 867. These are the transactions right from launch to logout. Okay. And what is this end-to-end response? This is nothing but the time taken for the entire flow. That means the time taken from launch till the logout. How much time it is taking if you are doing it manually. That you need to enter here. Okay. The next one, think time. You know that I mentioned already yesterday that you have to give think time here between each and every transaction, right? So that, yeah, like this, right? That think time is 3 seconds for everything, for all these scripts. I'm giving 3 seconds. And total think time. What is this total think time? What is the difference between think time and total think time? Ah, complete transactions we need to add, right? This thing time, this thing time, this thing time, everything we need to add. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, right? So if you have 7 transactions, how many think times will be there? 6, right? So that is why 7 transactions, you will have 6 think times, 6 into 3, 18. So that's how I calculated this. Got it? Fine. Till this point, it is clear, right? And finally, the total script time. See, this is end-to-end response time, and this is total script time. What is the difference? Anyone?
End-to-end response time is one transaction.
Yes, end-to-end response time plus total think time is nothing but the total script time, right?
Yeah.
End-to-end response time is without think time. Total script time is I'm including think time also, right? So I am adding this and this. This is the total script time. So finally, we got the total script time. Till this point, it is clear. Now let's calculate pacing. But before I tell you the formula, let us understand one thing. I want to calculate pacing for this particular scenario. Admin in admin, I want to calculate pacing for seller request approval. Okay. How many users we have? for seller?
Two users.
2 users. And so when I'm running for first iteration, how many seller approvals will happen? What is the script time? Total script time? 33.
30.
How many seller requests will happen after first iteration? 2. Right. Again, second iteration. In second iteration, again, 2 users. Again, script time is 33. How many will happen?
2.
Again, script time is 33. How many will happen? 2. Like this, how much you need to achieve? What is your target?
100.
So now you have achieved only 6. Let us drag it to 100.
50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you achieved 100? So you achieved 100. But how many like you need to drag this also, right? Correct? Fine. Okay. So now calculate this time. How long it took for you to achieve your target?
50 into 33.
How long it took?
1650.
1650 seconds, right? So it took 1650 seconds to achieve your target. What is your target? This one. You achieved 100 transactions, right? To achieve your 100 transactions, it took 1650 seconds. Right. Okay. So you achieved 1650 seconds. What is the remaining time? 3600 minus 1650. How much? 19. So what is your pacing? 1950 is your pacing. But you need to divide this pacing between your iterations, right? How many iterations it took here to achieve?
50 iterations.
50 iterations, right? Correct. So you need to divide this by
50.
14. Right. Divide this by 14 because you are giving pacing between the iterations. So divided by 50 minus 1, which is 49. So this is your pacing. That is what we have calculated here. Got it?
Yes.
Now understand the formula. D2 by G2 minus L2. What is this? D2? 2 divided by G TPS. 2 divided by like number of users divided by TPS minus L2 minus script time. Okay. Whatever I have calculated now, whatever I showed you as a logic, this is the formula for that. Okay. You can by heart this formula, or you can understand this logic, and as per the logic you can apply. So if you remember this formula, what will happen is whenever you get this as an interview question, you can quickly answer it. But if you understand this as a logic like this, it will take little time, but you can definitely answer. But what I will prefer is understand this as a logic. Okay. Okay, logic laga ardham chesuko. What will happen if you understand this as a logic? Real time lo you will explain to anyone, but during interviews you will become panic. Correct? So both ways you should understand. Logic laga you need to understand, and also as a formula also please remember. Okay. So this is one way to calculate the pacing. And where are we giving this pacing? Between the iterations. That means these are your iterations. Right? This is your first iteration. And after this you are giving pacing. And this is your second iteration. Right? And after this you are giving pacing. This is your third iteration. After this you are giving 39 seconds pacing. This is your fourth. After this you are giving 39 seconds pacing. So this is the pacing calculation. So that is how I calculated for all the scripts, right? 39 for this, 39 for this, 864 seconds for add product, delete product 972, like that. Okay, your pacing. And this spacing you are giving, remember again and again that this spacing you are giving between your iterations. That means after iteration you do this particular pacing. But there is another kind of pacing. I will explain you that also. This will be more easy for you. This will be very, very easy for you. Okay. Generally, I prefer this because it is very easy. What is this? Same I wrote, right? Like role, user count, script name, user distribution, and test duration till this point, and TPH. Till this point, it is clear, right? Now I gave total transactions. So you are running this with two users, and how many transactions you are achieving here? 100 trans. So how many iterations it will take for you to achieve this? 100 divided by 50, right? Two users, you will achieve one iteration. Okay. Okay, users, iteration, okay, and transaction. Okay, two users, right? Okay, first two users. That means first iteration. This is first iteration. How many transactions you achieved? Two. Next again, two users. Again, this is your second iteration. How many transactions you will achieve here? So again, two users. This is your third iteration. How many transactions you will achieve here? Two. Like that, how many transactions you need to achieve? Like that, you need to achieve. You need to achieve how many? 50 iterations, right? So that it will become 100, right? That is what I mentioned here. 100 divided by 2 is the formula here. Okay. So to get the iterations, you need to divide your TPH with users so that you will get the iterations, right? So that's how I wrote here. And with this, I can calculate the pacing. And what is my pacing formula? It is very easy, E2 by G2. That means the test duration divided by my total transactions is my pacing. That means 72 is the pacing for this particular script. Now you should ask a question. Yes, that is what I'm asking. Why it is different? A single per user. Correct. This is not this is for all users. ఇది కూడా all users కి like have calculated this is also for all users. But you are seeing 39-second pacing here, and you are seeing 72-second pacing here. The difference is here you are giving pacing between the iterations. That means after this first iteration, you are giving 39 seconds wait time. After second iterations, you are giving 39-second wait time, like that. But here you are giving pacing within the iteration. That means first iteration, how many users will run? First iteration law, two users. Okay, and I am giving pacing as 72 seconds here. I am defining a time in my first iteration. Okay, I am asking my script to complete the iteration within the time limit. Okay, how long my script will take to complete it? According to this, 33 seconds, right? 33 seconds it will take, and the remaining time is it will wait. Okay, because I am defining 72 seconds. The advantage of this is, see, in second iteration also it will take, I'll define the same time. Third iteration also I will define the same time. How many transactions it will achieve? Two, same, right? But the advantage in this second type of pacing is there is an advantage in second type of pacing. Can anyone identify, can anyone guess that advantage? What is that? Calculate what? Correct, you are right. But what is the advantage of Alexa? Exactly. That is the point. Correct? That is the point. What is your name? Huh? Abhinay. So whatever Abhinay said is right. That is the main point. See, here I have given 33 seconds for total script time. I have locked it. But do you think that it will take the same time when you are running a load test? How did you calculate this particular end-to-end response time? First of all, tell me. Manually. Manually you calculated this, right? And total script time also you have just included think time. That means for manual transaction response time you included think time and you are saying 33 seconds. Fine. You manually calculated this is a manual transaction which is taking 33 seconds. But do you think that it will take the same time when you are running a load test? Your application will slow down. It might take more time, right? It won't take less time, but it might take more time, right? So it doesn't take 33 seconds always. So if you lock this particular time as 33 seconds, it always doesn't take 33 seconds, right? So what will happen if you give like this 72 seconds? That means if your first iteration is taking 33 seconds, this will wait for the remaining time. What is the remaining time? 41 seconds. Wait. Okay. If the first iteration is taking 50 seconds, it will wait for 22 seconds. If the first iteration is taking 60 seconds, it will wait for 12 seconds. If the first iteration is taking 70 seconds, it will wait for 2 seconds. But in the first case, it is not the case. First case, right? Because you are giving pacing between your iterations. That means if the first iteration is taking even 70 seconds also, it will wait for 39 seconds only. After that, pacing will be 39 seconds only. But here that is not the case, right? So there is high probability of achieving the right number of transactions in this second workload model. Okay, so whenever you are giving or calculating pacing, you have to follow this second workload mode. But I am telling you both because in load runner you have both options, right? In interview they might ask you this one or that one also, but this one is more easier, this one is more accurate. Okay.
Vamshi, you don't mind, could you please explain how we are calculating pacing in second model?
Second model. Okay, I'll explain you again, no problem. First model you understood, right?
Yes.
Yeah. In second model, till this point you are clear, right? Transaction per second, you know how to take this transaction per second based on NFR, right?
Yes, yes.
Here we are only doing one simple thing, which is we are calculating total iterations. We have total transactions. How many transactions we need to achieve here?
100
100
transactions.
transactions. With how many users?
2 users.
With 2 users, we need to achieve 100. If we need to achieve 100 transactions with one user, so how many iterations we need to run? With 100 iterations. But we are going to achieve 100 transactions with 2 users. So
yes.
within 50 iterations, we will achieve that, right? That is what I'm calculating.
Yes.
100 divided by 2, 50. So that's what I'm calculating for all other scripts as well. So these are my total number of iterations, right?
Okay.
And now I'm calculating the pacing, which is E2 by G2, that is test duration. That means 3600 divided by total transactions. That is my pacing. See,
Okay.
I'm not doing anything rocket science here. What I am doing is I am dividing my test duration
By total
iterations
iterations.
by total iterations, right?
Yes.
My total test duration is 3600. I am dividing it by total number of iterations. So I need to complete 50 iterations here, right?
Okay.
3600. So I'm dividing it so that my pacing is 72. That means I have divided my 3600 to 50 parts. because I need to achieve how many iterations? 50 iterations. That is why I divided my total test duration to 50 parts. That means 72 is one part, 72 is another part. Like that, I have made 50 parts of my total test duration. And I'm telling that this is my pacing. So what will happen? It has to do this 50 iterations here, right? First iteration, it will run with 2 users. Okay. If script is taking 50 seconds, for example, it will wait the remaining time. Remaining 22 seconds, it will wait.
Okay.
Again, second iteration, if the script is taking only 30 seconds, it will wait 40 seconds, 42 seconds, right?
Yes.
I have given this spacing.
Okay.
So by giving this particular pacing, we will always achieve the accurate transactions. What are we going to achieve with this? By giving pacing, what are we going to achieve? I explained you about pacing yesterday. What is our target here?
As per in the real world,
Oh, yeah, one second. Yeah. Second case low, we'll get accurate. We'll achieve accurate number of transactions. Second case low. But first case low, if we give pacing like this, we might achieve less number of transactions, not more. Less number of transactions because we have locked our script time as 33. 33 seconds in the lock script time, right? But in our load test, it might, if it is taking 50 seconds or 60 seconds, what will happen? What will happen? At the end, we will get less number of iterations because our test duration will be completed quickly, right? That means we will achieve less number of transactions. Okay. See, that means what you are asking is we give 72 seconds spacing. Okay. If our script time is taking more than 72 seconds, correct? Then we will not achieve our pacing. We will not achieve our transaction. We will not achieve our transaction. That is an issue. Yeah, we consider that as an issue. Our target NFR is so and so. We are not achieving this because our script time is taking more than 72 seconds. When will our script time will take more than 72 seconds? If our response times are high, correct? మన రెస్పాన్స్ టైం ఎక్కువ వచ్చినప్పుడే కదా ఇది ఫేసింగ్ ఈ 72 seconds క్రాస్ చేసి వెళ్తుంది. దట్ ఈస్ so we are not going to achieve our target transactions. What is our main goal here? Our main goal is this. Our main goal is this, right? Our main goal is to achieve 100 transactions for this. 100 transactions for this. 180 transactions. This is our main goal. This is what we get from NFRs, right? So this is our main goal. We are doing our workload model to achieve this one. Okay. So this we will give only for, see, this spacing calculations we do only for load runner. Only for load runner, because in load runner only we have to calculate this spacing. But in Jmeter, we have different options in Jmeter to calculate. We don't need to calculate sync time in Jmeter actually, because we have something called timers Jmeter. When I go to that tooling, when I go to the timers topic, I'll explain you more clearly about that. But briefly, what I am telling you is now that in load runner only we need to calculate this spacing. But in Jmeter, you don't need to do these calculations because your timers will take care of everything. Have something called precise throughput timer, constant throughput timer. So by adding these timers, you just need to add that particular timer and you just need to give your target transaction. Why are we giving pacing? To achieve number of transactions. So in Jmeter, you have precise throughput timer. If you add that, there you have an option to give your target transactions. There you give 100, it will achieve 100. You have 2 to 3 fields. What you'll have? Transactions. You just need to give 100 there. Okay. And you have something called throughput duration. What is your throughput duration? With 100, how much duration you need to achieve 100? 1 hour, right? So you need to give 3600 seconds there. And you will have something called test duration. What is your test duration? Same, right? 360. So you have something called precise throughput timer in Jmeter. Add that, and if you give this fields in the fields, if you give like this, then it will achieve the target transactions within 1 hour. You don't need to calculate pacing there. That is the advantage of Jmeter. But in load runner, you need to calculate this pacing. So pacing, the reason I'm going to explain about Jmeter only in my further classes. But why for Jmeter you don't need to calculate the spacing. But the reason why I explain the spacing is first of all for load runner it is very important, and pacing calculation is very important in your question. Okay. So this is all about pacing. Now I will give you few tasks and show me in the next class. Okay. You can note it down. We need to achieve 250 transactions in an hour. We need to achieve 250 transactions in an hour with 10 users. We need to achieve 250 transactions in an hour with 10 users. And what is the pacing? Second task, you need to achieve 700 transactions in an hour. You need to achieve 750 transactions in an hour with 17 users. What is my pacing? And third task, you need to achieve 1500 transactions in you need to achieve 1500 transactions in 8 hours. You need to achieve 1500 transactions in 8 hours with 15 users. What is my pacing? Okay, these three things you just calculate and show it to me tomorrow. And also one more task for you is this is what I calculated for only which test? Load test. Calculate this for the other tests also. Endurance. Calculate this for endurance test. Calculate the same table. Both the tables. I need both the tables. This one first pacing calculation, second pacing calculation. Both the sheets for endurance test. Okay. These are your 4 tasks for tomorrow. Okay. So go and try to understand pacing, and in the next class we'll start with the tooling. Okay. I will close the call for today. In next class we are going to start with the Jmeter tool. Okay. Any doubts? Anyone? Yeah, Uday.
For the first task, how many users? 250 transactions in an hour with?
Any usership and 10 users.
Okay, Vamshi.
It is not about these values. You can take 11 users or 12 users. Finally,
Okay.
formula or your calculation. I want to see your understanding. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Fine then. Shall we meet tomorrow then?
Yes, Vamshi.